I am enjoying these early autumn colors, trying to squeeze in a few more while I still can. Hello everyone, welcome. I'm once again in Little Cottonwood Canyon in the Wasatch Range, and today we'll be traversing Devil's Castle. As always, I'll give a disclaimer. Climbing is inherently dangerous. I don't know your skill level or experience, and I can't make a risk assessment for you. But hopefully this video can help you make a risk assessment. This is what looks to be another great Wasatch route with a super short approach. It's only about a mile into Secret Lake, and then from there walked on the east side of the lake, picked up a little climber's trail, and then did some switchbacks up to the saddle between Devil's Castle and Sugarloaf Mountain. From the saddle, walk east a few minutes along the southern side of the ridge, and already sitting at the base of the first tower. Up to the first tower, definitely a fun little scramble. Enough exposure here to make it a class 4, but with some good rock. From the top of the first tower, I got a clear view of the rest of the route already in front of me. So, looks like it's even shorter than I realized. I was scrambling more or less directly on the ridge for barely even a few hundred feet before I came to the second tower. On the second tower, there were numerous options to do this. The easiest one was to traverse around the south side on a small path and approach it from the east. Or if you wanted to, you could just bypass the tower entirely. It's also possible to go up the west side on a narrow knife edge ridge. I tried this first. I was looking directly into the sun, so I bailed on the bottom half of that, though I'll show you the upper half here. And then on the south face of the tower, there are numerous scrambling options up a series of ledges. This was easier than I thought it would be. Probably no harder than going up the first tower, though there were a couple of loose rocks here and some loose scree, so be on the lookout for them. Descending the second tower on the eastern side, as I mentioned, this was the easiest way to approach it. Although it is a little bit exposed as well. And there is a little bit of loose scree under your feet at times, so be careful here too. The approach to the third tower begins by ascending this small chimney, which is easier than it looks. A little bit exposed, but good rock and good holds. And much like the second tower, the third tower does have a bypass trail that leads around to the south of the tower and approaches from there. But if you prefer something more challenging, there are multiple scrambling options up the west face of the tower. Yeah, and much like a lot of the other great Wasatch routes, super short approach, good exposure on fourth class rock, plenty of different options depending on how difficult you want to make it, and mostly solid rock. This might be the last one I do for this season, so great way to close it out. And a fun little scramble down the east face of the third tower. And like a lot of the scrambling here, this can be bypassed by traversing just a little bit to the south. Drop back down to a trail again, just on the south side of the ridgeline. And when I got past the East Castle, I turned to the north and popped over the ridge. And I can see a trail winding down a fairly steep hill. Should take me back down into the basin. Descending the hillside on the north of the East Castle, I continued to traverse east as I descended. I don't think it's the most direct route, but it looked like the terrain was a little bit easier over here. I'm almost back down in Albion Basin and have enough time left in the day that I'm debating whether or not to hit another summit. That's my kind of day. Anyway, that was Devil's Castle. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it useful for planning your own trip. As always, I love your feedback. What did you enjoy? What can I do differently? And what other peaks and routes would you like to see? Okay, bye.